And just days before Christmas last year, two patients in dire circumstances at University of Chicago Medicine, they forged an unlikely friendship and made medical history. Daru Smith, a truck driver from the south side of Chicago, was just a few doors down from Sarah McPharlin, an occupational therapist from Michigan. They had much different backgrounds but shared the same grim odds. They both needed a procedure that was so rare it had previously been done only 15 times in U.S. history. Other hospitals actually turned Sarah away, and one suggested end-of-life care. But as Adriana Diaz shows us, she met Daru, and their lives changed course together.
At the University of Chicago Medical Center, you wouldn't blame Daru Smith
Happy with the kidney?
and Sarah McPharlin for keeping their distance. They were both on the same wait list for the same rare triple organ transplant.
I was like, I don't want to feel like it's a competition thing, like, you know, who's going to live and who's going to die.
Daru has an inflammatory condition that caused organ failure. When Sarah was a child, a virus attacked her heart and she had a heart transplant at 12. But recently her health deteriorated. Both needed heart, liver, kidney transplants, but no hospital has ever done two in a single year.
My mom and I were both starting to get a little sad or down.
Because they were telling me about me needing basically a miracle.
Doctors don't introduce patients on the same wait list, even if they have different blood types like Sarah and Daru. But they met at physical therapy and a friendship began.
I saw him going to walk. I was like, oh, I should really get up and go do my laps too.
Sarah was just marathon, you know, knocking out laps. And she would encourage me like, you know, we got you, Daru. We can slow down a little bit.
She was kind of like a coach.
Yeah, motivation.
Hi, good job.
That positivity paid off. Last year, just before Christmas, Daru had a donor, a new chance at life, and to see his son grow up.
To be honest, I felt a little bad at first. And I was like, she also been through so much too. You know, like, why didn't she go first?
Then, during Daru's surgery, the transplant team got news they could only describe as a Christmas miracle. Sarah got a match too.
This is the first time it's happened. That one institution is doing in the same year. I'm not saying in the same months, I'm not saying in the same week. We never in our dream thought it would be so close.
Sarah, how did you get the news that you were going to get transplanted?
Well, so it was kind of funny because Dr. Smith came in.
Of course, I knew who she meant.
I like your tie.
Oh, something special like that for me.
Because Dr. Brian Smith is my husband.
I said to her, have you heard the great news?
And we were all like, oh, Drew's back. Like, it didn't take 20 hours. So we just were so excited.
Kept talking for a minute or so, and I realized she had no idea.
The good news was for her.
Exactly, yeah. So I stopped her and said, actually, the donor's for you. And she and her mother were speechless.
We're like completely oblivious to it for a long time. And because of all the excitement of ourselves for Drew.
We have patients who have waited 2 days.
Dr. Valuvan Jivanandam is the pair's heart surgeon. All told, Daru's surgery took 17 hours. Sarah's 20, almost back to back.
What do you think it was that brought matches for both of these patients in such a short amount of time?
Fate. It's one of those things about transplant which is actually spiritual. You control some things, but when donors occur, you have no control over it all. And maybe there is karma in that they're rewarded for their good deeds.
Good deeds like being open to friendship where others wouldn't and paying it forward.
I'm just forever grateful for the decision to be an organ donor. I'll forever take the gift, treat it with respect.
So usually I don't do the new year, new me stuff, but I can honestly say this year is like a new year, new me.
New beginnings with the greatest gift of all. Adriana Diaz, Chicago.
Wow, new friends for life right there. To see the doctors were completely stunned by all of it, incredible. I know.
People wait on those transplant lists for years and years and years, and for it to happen to that level.
For both of them.
For both of them.
Incredible.
Yeah, that is a really great story. And plus, you can tell how proud Adriana is of her husband,
Absolutely.
too. Very
Absolutely.
sweet. I love her.